The Tyrannical King. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a kingdom named Aloria. This kingdom was rich in gold and beautiful flowers. The people of Aloria were hard-working and kind. They lived in peace and happiness. But all of this changed when a new king came to power. The king's name was King Darius. When he was young, King Darius was kind and gentle. But as he grew older, he became greedy and cruel. He wanted more gold, more power, and more control over his people. He started to make new laws that were very harsh. The people had to pay more taxes. If someone did not have enough money, King Darius would take their home or their land. King Darius built a grand palace for himself. It was the biggest and most beautiful palace anyone had ever seen. But while he lived in luxury, his people were suffering. Many people did not have enough food to eat. They worked hard, but no matter how hard they worked, they could not keep their money because of the high taxes. One day, a poor farmer named Elias decided to speak out. He had a small farm and a family to take care of. He could not pay the taxes and was afraid of losing his home. Elias went to the palace to talk to the king. "Your Majesty," Elias said, bowing deeply, "please lower the taxes. We are suffering. We do not have enough to eat, and we are losing our homes." King Darius looked at Elias with cold eyes. "You are a fool to come here and speak to me like this," he said. "The taxes will stay, and you will pay them, or you will be punished." Elias was thrown out of the palace, but he did not give up. He talked to his neighbors, and they agreed to join him. Soon, many people in the kingdom were talking about how unfair the king was. They decided to protest peacefully. They gathered outside the palace, holding signs and chanting for lower taxes. King Darius was furious. He ordered his soldiers to break up the protest. The soldiers were rough and hurt many people. Elias was arrested and thrown into a dark, cold prison. The people were scared, but they were also angry. They did not want to live in fear anymore. In the darkness of his prison cell, Elias did not lose hope. He knew that the people needed a leader who would fight for them. He thought about his wife and children and all the other families in the kingdom who were suffering. He prayed for a miracle. In a nearby village, a wise old woman named Sophia heard about Elias and the people's troubles. She had lived many years and had seen many kings come and go. Sophia decided to visit the prison and speak to Elias. She brought him food and a warm blanket. "Elias, you are a brave man," Sophia said. "The people need someone like you. But you must be smart. You cannot fight the king alone. You need to find others who will stand with you." Elias listened to Sophia's wise words. He knew she was right. He started to think of a plan. With Sophia's help, he began to send secret messages to the people in the kingdom. He asked them to stay strong and wait for the right moment to act. As the days passed, more and more people joined Elias in his secret plan. They met in hidden places and talked about how they could make their kingdom a better place. They knew it would not be easy, but they were determined to bring change. The people of Eloria were ready to stand up against their tyrannical king. They were tired of living in fear and wanted to bring back peace and happiness to their land. They knew that together they were strong. The first step of their journey had begun, and they were ready for whatever came next.
Part 2. The Fall of the Tyrannical King.
The people of Eloria continued to prepare in secret. They spread the word about their cause, gathering more support each day. They knew that they needed a strong leader to guide them. Elias, still in prison, remained their symbol of hope and courage. Sophia, the wise old woman, worked tirelessly to organize the people. She sent messages to other villages, asking for their help. Many brave men and women agreed to join the cause. They knew it was dangerous, but they also knew that freedom was worth the risk. One night, under the cover of darkness, a group of rebels sneaked into the prison where Elias was held. They carefully unlocked his cell and helped him escape. Elias was weak from his time in prison, but his spirit was strong. He was ready to lead his people to freedom. With Elias free, the people felt a renewed sense of hope. They knew the time had come to take action. They planned a big protest right in front of the palace. This time, they were ready for anything. They had a plan to make their voices heard. The day of the protest arrived. Thousands of people gathered outside the palace. They held signs and chanted for justice. King Darius, hearing the noise, was furious. He ordered his soldiers to break up the crowd, but this time the people were not afraid. Elias stood at the front of the crowd, holding a flag that symbolized their fight for freedom. "We are not here to fight," he shouted. "We are here to be heard. We want a fair king who cares about his people." The soldiers hesitated. Many of them were also tired of the king's cruelty. They saw their friends and families in the crowd. Slowly, they began to lower their weapons. The people cheered as more and more soldiers joined their side. King Darius could not believe what was happening. He tried to run, but the people had surrounded the palace. They captured him and brought him to the center of the crowd. Elias stepped forward, looking the king in the eyes. "King Darius, you have ruled with cruelty and greed. You have made us suffer. But today, we take back our freedom," Elias declared. The people cheered loudly. The people decided that King Darius should be sent away, far from the kingdom. They chose a new leader, someone who would listen to them and care for their needs. After much discussion, they asked Elias to be their new king. Elias was shocked. "I am just a farmer," he said. "But if you believe I can lead you, I will do my best." The people cheered again, happy to have a kind and fair leader. Under King Elias's rule, the kingdom of Eloria began to heal. He lowered the taxes and made sure everyone had enough food. He listened to the people and worked hard to make their lives better. The palace was no longer a place of fear, but a place where people could come for help and support. Sophia continued to advise King Elias, and together they made many wise decisions. The people of Eloria were happy and free once again. They rebuilt their homes and farms, and the kingdom became even more beautiful than before. King Elias never forgot the bravery of the people who stood with him. He made sure that everyone in the kingdom had a voice. He knew that true power came from the people, not from riches or palaces. And so, the kingdom of Eloria thrived. The story of their fight for freedom was told for generations. It reminded everyone that even in the darkest times, hope and courage could lead to a brighter future.